We are live right now on Investor Thrive Nation. This is the Painless Flipping Podcast. I got my man on here, Anthony Cassar. What is up, brother?
What's up, brother? Happy to be on.
Oh man, I'm so grateful that you came on today, guys. If you don't know who the freak Anthony Cassar is, you need to freaking step up and turn on some YouTube, watch some stuff, man. The man, the myth, the legend, dude. I saw your finals match. I've been following you. Is that weird, bro? Is that weird when people are like?
No,
Is
it's cool.
is that weird when
I
people just
appreciate
come
it.
up to you and they're like, "Yo, I've seen you around, bro. I've seen your matches."
No, up here, I still live in Penn State, and it's like a bubble, so everyone knows the wrestlers out here. I'm used to it by now.
Dang, why are wrestlers so good up north, bro? Why are you guys so good? Is that all you do up there or what?
Yeah, I mean, you got the cold weather, you got the hard parents. It all just kind of comes together, and we know how to scrap.
So I grew up in Georgia and I wrestled too, and I came up to a tournament in Ohio and got my butt whooped, bro. I was like, these guys were like, I was shooting on them and they were just like scrambling for my ankles, and I was like,
yeah,
we didn't know what scrambling was when we came up there, and then that just seemed to be like a thing up
yeah,
north. So
it
I was
caught on
shook.
quick.
I got rocked. But anyway, man, for everybody that doesn't know, Anthony, give us a little bit, give everybody a little bit of a summary about who you are, man. I mean, I would talk about it, but I want to
Yeah,
kind of have you say it.
yeah. So I'm known as a wrestler. I was an NCAA champ for Penn State at heavyweight in 2019. And then I got into real estate during COVID, and I was pursuing my dream of becoming an Olympic champ, and was on a good path to do so. And then broke my shoulder in the qualifying tournament. And then COVID hit, and I had a lot of time on my hands, like everyone else. Fell in real estate, Jerry Norton, and
Shout out.
and have done a few deals since. And now it's a passion of mine as I pursue my next goals of the same goal, becoming the best in the world, but now it's through MMA. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Bro, so were you a big fan of MMA like growing up, or did you just
Mm-hmm.
kind of see like, hey, this is something that I can take my skills into? How did that work out?
Yeah, I watched it since I was a kid, like Fedor, Vitor Belfort,
Yes.
like all the OGs. And it was wild back then, like watching Pride and those guys. It was barbaric and violent, but entertaining.
With the
Um,
stomps on the face and
yeah,
everything. Oh
yeah,
gosh.
basically no rules, and
Yes.
someone coming with one boxing glove and then it's versus jiu-jitsu guy. So it was
Yep.
wild, but I was always a fan of it. And then when I got to high school and I was, achieving more in wrestling, and I saw that the wrestlers were starting to succeed in the sport,
Mhm.
it just clicked. I was like, that's what I'm going to do when I'm done wrestling. So,
Gotcha.
mhm.
Were you wrestling like since you were a kid, or when did you get into wrestling?
Yeah, since I was young, 7 or 8, but
Oh,
I didn't really get fully committed to it until halfway through high school, and then
oh, for real?
yeah, so I was just, it was more of a hobby until then, and then I
Mhm.
really committed. I didn't win a state title until my senior year, and
Okay.
so it was kind of like catching up through Penn State and improve from there.
Bro, that's freaking wild. I was kind of like you in the sense like I was a big fan of UFC, like at
Hmm.
Pride. I was always watching Fedor, and I was like, bro, why doesn't this guy go to the UFC and fight some of that
Yeah,
real talent, bro? That's at least what I thought.
yeah,
And didn't you want that like growing up?
for
You're like, man,
sure.
I want Fedor to fight like the
Everyone did.
Bigfoot Silva or whoever was the champ at that
Yeah,
time. I, I
yeah,
I was a freaking big fan of Fedor. I was like, this Russian dude's nuts, man.
yeah. I loved them.
He looks like all like fluffy, but he'll crush you. That
Yeah,
was sweet.
yeah. He was
Um, did you have like a favorite UFC champ or fighter growing up, like Matt Hughes or anything like that?
his opponent GSP.
Oh,
That was my
GSP.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
GSP's the man.
Cause
Have
he
you
was
met GSP, bro? I feel like
not
you should have
yet.
met him.
I've been in the same circles, but I haven't met him yet. But I just loved how he wasn't a natural. He didn't grow up wrestling, but he picked it up quickly.
Dude,
Like he was going to wrestle for
amazing.
the Canadian national team in wrestling, and he didn't even grow up doing that. So the way he like factored that into his fights and how well rounded he was, that was like what I looked to.
Yeah, it was so interesting, like how he got so good at the double leg and the takedowns.
Yeah,
Like against Matt, I remember Matt Hughes. He was just like rocking Matt
yeah.
Hughes,
Matt
and I
was a
was
good
like,
wrestler.
how's that happening? Do you remember when he fought Matt Serra and he
Yeah,
Matt Serra beat him and
yeah,
everyone was shook. I was shook. I was like, whoa, how do you lose to Matt Serra? But then he crushed him next
yeah,
on the rematch.
yeah. He had some wild trilogies.
That's wild, man.
Mhm.
Okay, so you got into wrestling and you were not you said you took it serious like halfway through high school, right?
Yep. Hmm.
And then you won your state championship. How did that feel to win senior year? Was that like a big accomplishment, or were you like, whatever, man, I'm a champ? already.
Yeah. I started calling myself the champ junior year before I'd even
Yeah.
qualified for state. So
Wow.
people were looking at me a little crazy there. But yeah, it just clicked after junior year when I failed to qualify. And
Hmm.
I was like, all right, this is not what I'm about. I'm going to put my head down, do everything it takes to win a state title. And then it was big. It was big for me because it was the first one I won. It was the first one that I won for the school. Like, and
Wow.
then it set me up to go to a school like Penn State. So it was my first big accomplishment.
What do you think happened when you said you already called yourself the champ? So you
Mhm.
put it out there, the secret. You
Yeah,
believed in yourself. Did you do anything specific to get there? Were you training more? Did you
yeah.
watch videos? What did you do? What do you think helped you get that leap?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even training hard in the off season, so I just completely dialed in. I was training twice a day from the day after I failed to qualify up through the following season, and was traveling 45 minutes to another club there and back. Was like an hour and a half every day, along with my school practices. So I definitely increased my workload a lot, but
Mhm.
it was the main thing was just visualizing that and believing it, and everything else fell into place.
Was it an upset, or were you like starting the season? Was everyone like, "Dude, this guy's gonna take it"? He put in the
No,
work.
it was definitely an upset. The kid I beat in the finals, it was the fourth time we wrestled that year. I went undefeated, but
Wow.
yeah, it wasn't until later in the year that everyone was like, "Oh, he might have a chance."
Wait, you beat this guy 3 times before?
Yeah, in the same season. Yeah, it was tough. It
Oh,
was tough
dang,
for him.
bro. That's
Yeah,
not fair, man. I hate when you gotta go against the same guy over and over, and
I
then
know.
they get ready. I almost feel like by winning every time, you're at a disadvantage because they I don't know, they
Yeah,
dissect. I don't know if that's true or not
yeah,
for
they got
you, but
nothing to lose, and they get like more of a read on you, so you got to go out there like it's your first match every time too.
yeah, you see that Chance Marceller match with, Jordan Burroughs?
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
yeah,
like, I don't that might play into that. I feel like Jordan just, like, was at a disadvantage. Chance was just maybe he's just getting older or whatever, but
yeah.
I feel like
That was
Chance just
crazy.
picked him up. Yeah, that was crazy, bro.
Mhm,
Do you so tell me about that. So after high school,
mhm.
you didn't go to Olympics or try for that until after college, right? That was after?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
So tell me about that experience of graduating, picking what school and wrestling in college because I know that's a lot there too.
Yeah, so I knew I had a lot of ground to make up, being kind of fresh in the sport, at least being fully involved in the sport. And
Mhm.
Penn State at the time, and still is, was the number one team in the nation. So I was like, I have to go there. I need to level up quickly, and that's the best place for me to be at. And then once I visited the school and hung out with the coaches and the guys, like they just have a great environment, a great faithful environment, just good people, but guys that want to win more than anything.
Yeah.
And so that aligned with me, and jumped right in there. It was rough at first, but improved, and um, mine was more at like an accelerated rate because of how much room I had to go,
Yeah.
and had some good wins along the way, and then finally achieved my goal senior year. And after that, it was the next goal.
That's wild, bro. Do you have any crazy stories about Kale? Like, is anything about that dude? Because I mean, he's the one that like turned that program around, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Yes. Anything about him?
I mean,
Sure, there's quite a bit.
yeah, there's quite a bit, but I mean, he's just starting to slow down now, but he wrestled with
Mhm.
the top guys throughout my entire college career. Like we must have
Freaking wild.
wrestled over 100 matches, and he would just beat the heck out of everybody. So he
He's a
didn't
big
start.
guy though, right? He's not small.
Yeah, he's like about 200, and
Okay.
so he didn't start slowing down until 40s.
Bro, what in the world is that guy on, man? What is he running off of faith and
Yeah,
Jesus or
exactly.
something? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, because I'm from Utah, right? So
Hmm.
they talk about him a lot. I was actually going against jujitsu from some guy that trained with. He said I don't really know him, Ricky Marceller or
Yep.
something.
Hmm.
So you
Yeah.
know him. So
Yeah.
there's a guy in my gym that trained with him, and he always tells stories about Kale whooping on him. And I'm like, man, this guy loves telling Kale stories, dude.
Ricky Lundell.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it, Lindell.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
beast, right?
He's a
That's why.
beast. Yeah. Real good.
Okay. Yeah, because
Mhm.
again, this guy in the jiu-jitsu gym, he loves Ricky, bro. He's like one of Ricky's best friends, and
Got it.
he's always telling me stories about he said that I don't know if I believe this, maybe you could tell, but he said he put Kale in like a uh what is that? When they I forgot the move, it's a triangle choke.
Okay.
Uh, he said he put Kale in that, and then
Yeah.
Kale was like, all right, bro, let's freaking go for real. And then Kale
Yeah.
beat him up for like an hour.
Yeah. I could see that.
Sounds like that might, I
Yeah.
don't know if you could put Kale in a triangle, but maybe you did. Who knows?
Yeah. I can see that.
So very interesting. So I've always wanted to ask like a really high level, one of the highest level wrestlers I know is you is
Mhm.
how was wrestling in college, man? Was it like, did it kind of suck because you like couldn't really enjoy, I wouldn't say the full experience of college, but did it get in the way of like, oh man, I just want to hang out and party or
Yeah.
relax?
Yeah. So I had an interesting story because I came in my first 2 years, like I was doing everything. So I
Mhm.
was, I wasn't completely locked in because that's not
Mm.
how I was in high school. It's not really, um, how I was raised in the sport, that you didn't have to do every little thing right. So that was brand
Right.
new to me, that when you got to Penn State, like a lot of the guys didn't drink, a lot of guys didn't party, like they were locked in.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, all right, work hard, play hard. It's like that kind of thing.
Hmm.
And then two or 3 years went by, and I was progressing a lot, but I wasn't significantly closer to achieving my goal of becoming an NCAA champ.
Hmm.
And so about halfway through college, I just completely bought into the mentality and locked in every single detail. Like probably became more extreme than everyone else there. Like I was like, all right, if I'm doing this, like that's just how my personality is. And from there, my success like skyrocketed. So
Wow.
but and at that point, I didn't really see it as much of a sacrifice. Like this is just what I'm choosing to do because I want this thing at the end of the and from to get to point B, I want this. So I'm choosing to make these changes. So it wasn't like I was missing out on a bunch.
Yeah, no, it's true. Especially if that's your goal that's driving you, you're not too worried about, all the other little details.
Yeah.
What was one thing that you like at the beginning? You're like, man, this is stupid. I don't want to do this. But then you like were really strict about it because I heard like he doesn't want any caffeinated or no soda or something. Like that might not be true, but is
No,
there anything
no,
like that?
no. I mean, he doesn't get into the specifics of it. It's more just like living the right way. Like everyone knows how to eat right and sleep right, and
Gotcha.
not going out and partying and stuff. The basics. Um, I've definitely gotten more strict over the years, and like given up more and more because I just see, you there's always 1 more % to get better, right? And like a
Yeah.
little bit of an edge. So I'm definitely more of an extreme one. Like I don't drink caffeine anymore. Don't drink, like those kind of things, because
Good, bro.
I'm just locked in, and if there's any little bit of help that I can get, I'm gonna get it for the years that I still have to compete.
Freaking let's go. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think Kale, I don't know if he is still, but he's Mormon, right? He's
Yep.
LDS. Yeah,
Hmm.
so me too. So I'm sure it was a little easier for him to like live that lifestyle than
Yeah.
like for a lot of the guys that came in. He's like, don't drink, don't do this.
Yeah.
But then you get locked in, you put away all the distractions, and then you're freaking excelling,
Exactly.
which is awesome. All
Yeah.
right, so now you crush it. You win the NCAA title, which is amazing, like
Mhm.
one of the greatest accomplishments ever. I'm assuming you're just like stoked about it
Yeah.
still. I'd be
Hmm.
pumped forever. What next? What was the next road you took? Or
So the next thing was to become the best in the world, right? I became the best in the state, then the nation. The world's the next biggest thing. So that was my goal, and I was on track to do so. I decided to come back for another year of college because I got hurt, so I had a medical year.
right?
So I decided to come back while I pursued that goal, and then in the first tournament to qualify for the Olympic trials, that's when I broke my shoulder. So everything kind of got thrown off, and I was
Dang.
at the top of the mountain and feeling great. And then the kid that I beat in the nationals went on to win the Olympic gold medal. Um, so
Ah,
so I'm sitting at
you
home,
fired up, bro?
yeah, yeah.
Dang.
I've had a couple of years now,
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm sitting at home during COVID, and he's doing that, and so that little fire under me to come back, and now I'm healthy again, and it was either go back to wrestling or transfer over to MMA, and I felt like God was leading me towards MMA, and now I'm on the pursuit of that same goal, just a little bit of a different sport.
Bro, future MMA champ right here, bro.
You know it, bro.
Dude, how old are you, by the way? I'm just curious.
27.
So yeah, bro. So
Mhm.
you're ready to rock and roll. Let me ask you this, man, because you're friends with Bo Nickel, right?
Yep. Yep.
So I see Bo and I'm like, bro, this wrestling, your background, like the background of the Penn State guys, like they're gonna blast through even the top competition. Do you feel like that already? Like, bro, just put me in front of these people, like I'll take them down and whoop them. Do you feel like that, or you're like, I'm a little bit more cautious, maybe I'm not that
Yeah.
confident yet?
I mean, it's a fact that it's the biggest advantage of combat sports, right? Like we could
Yeah,
dictate where the fight goes. Now, are we going to go against the champion in our division right away? No, because we're going to be smart and build
of
up to
course.
it. Can we go in there and take him down and hold him down for 3-5 rounds? Probably.
Yeah.
Is that going to make for a very exciting fight? No.
Who
So
cares, bro? Just
yeah.
take him down.
So I think for me, and I know for him, like we're working on striking, jiu-jitsu, like we're working on becoming well-rounded mixed martial artists so that
Right.
we can stay at the top for a while, regardless of who comes up.
So what weight would you fight at right now in the
205.
205?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm looking at the champion and like the people at 205, and I'm like, a wrestler could
Yeah.
work those guys. Do you agree, or do you not feel like that?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's been pretty weak since John Jones left. Some
Yeah, John
talent.
Jones is a beast.
Yeah, for sure.
For
Some
sure.
talent, but not super well-rounded. So I'm excited to get there and start working my way up.
Yeah, like for example, Izzy, like amazing striker, right? And he's
Mhm.
got good defense, but I feel like a really good wrestler could take him down and work him, right? And win that way.
Yeah.
And then so I was at a gym here in Utah. They're having the UFC
Yeah, it's
bout
gonna be a
here.
sick card.
Oh man, I'm stoked. But so
Mhm.
I just saw yesterday Jan Blankowitz or whatever.
Boxowitz,
Jan.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I just saw him and I was talking to him for a little bit.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he obviously didn't want to talk to me. He's like, "Get
Yeah.
out of it, get this dude out of my face." But he was at the gym that I was rolling at, and he walked
Sweet.
in with his. Yeah, it was pretty cool. His crew, a bunch of Polish like people just rolling in,
Yeah.
and I'm like, he's a beast, bro. Like
Mhm.
obviously, you get hit with that, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
But his wrestling too, like I would say it's good. I don't
Yeah.
know as well as probably you do, but I just feel like a lot of guys at that top tier, they're not like they don't have that skill set yet, right? They're
Yeah.
not up there.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let me think. So I'm curious, man. I didn't know you said you broke your shoulder.
Yep.
So kind of tell me, did that happen on a specific move or?
Yeah.
Um,
I had issues with the shoulder prior. I had a couple surgeries on it, but
mhm,
I'd had years like of no issues.
mhm,
And then I was wrestling at heavyweight, so I was
mhm.
about 240, and I was wrestling, guys that were anywhere from 265 to 285,
Big boys, yeah.
real big boys, and that's what I won the NCAAs at.
Mhm.
And then when I was wrestling this one guy who was just a big boy, and I shot a double leg and I was chasing him out of bounds, and I kind of ran him out of bounds, and then he stopped, so I kind of relaxed, and
Yeah.
then he like threw all of his weight down after that, and it was more of like the doctor said it was more of like an NFL like collision like than a wrestling injury. So
Crazy. And the
yeah,
recovery on that was during COVID. Is that what
yeah,
you're?
it was during COVID, so uh, I had about a year, and then I started getting back into it, and the surgery didn't take, so I had to get another one, and then I had my first fight back in December. So it was a couple years. It was almost 3 years before I competed again.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Were you considering going a different route than MMA? Were you just like, man, maybe I'll do something else?
Well, that's how I came into real estate, because I was like,
Yeah, let's go into that.
yeah, it was always in the back of my mind, and I had time, and I was laid up,
Hmm.
and basically just learned from YouTube University, Jerry Norton, and King Kong, and learned everything I could about wholesaling and flipping,
Hmm.
because I couldn't. I knew I had to continue to compete. Like it's just
Right.
in me. It's I feel it's what God made me to do, and so um, I knew that was going to be coming back, but I knew I also need to give my body some time to recover and rehab and all of that. And with COVID, it was like indefinite. So that's how I started, pursuing at least some other passion, which was real
Yeah.
estate.
Yeah, and I'm assuming. So, kind of tell me where you want to take real estate. Is it as
Mhm.
you make money and as you grow in the sport, you want to reinvest it? Do you want to run like kind of a business at the same time? Like where are you thinking now? Where does
Yeah.
real estate take place, or does it not take place and you're just fully locked in?
Yeah, it's been tough because I was all in when I was injured. I did some wholesales, did some flips, made some good money.
Hmm.
Started creating the business, building the business, hiring people. Went out to Puerto Rico with Jerry Norton, did that whole thing, and it was awesome. Like I learned so much from it all.
Yeah,
But then as you get back into training and competing, you can only do so much, right? Like if it's a hobby, sure, but especially with fighting, like you
yeah,
can't be half in, half out. So
yeah,
my plan is I just bought my first rental too. So my plan is to do what I can, like a deal here and there. If a good lead comes up, I'll wholesale it or flip it, and then put my fight purses and stuff into more long term holds, and multiple units type thing and expand from there. So it's just kind of something I'm doing on the side as of now. And then when I retire, go back to all in.
I love it, man. I think that's a good idea because really you got to focus on one thing, right? Like if you want to be the best, it's gonna be tough to run a wholesale business
Exactly.
and whoop people on the weekend,
Exactly.
Imagine though, that'd be sick. Hey, bro, let me after you get your hand raised, you're like, hey, signing the deal.
Someone's yelled at me on the phone.
Yeah. So that's amazing. One thing that I teach, I don't know as much what you know about what I do, but I call it painless flipping or wholesaling. It's where like through social media, through networking, through other wholesalers, I get like opportunities that come to me, right? And I have specific buyers that I know are buying in areas, right? So for example, if you were investing in, you said you're in PA, right?
Yep.
So if you're investing in PA, you could just make a post and just be like, for example, not something you have to do, but you'd be like, hey guys, if anybody's got a property they're selling, let me know. And then if someone has some, they send it to you. And instead of you having to go through the whole process, you just connect it to your buyer and just say, hey, I think I have an opportunity. You might be interested in, how much would you pay for it? And that way I just connect people. And I take out like having to run comps. I take out having to sign contracts and do all this extra work, which is fine. Some people do that, but I like to be quick about it. So I get deals sent to me. And I think with like, as you grow, there's a lot of people that might just bring you stuff just because you're going to have a bigger reach. So it's an option.
That's cool.
That's what I do. Just connect.
And you just take like a finder's fee?
Yeah, I just add the difference. So for example, if someone brings me a lead, like, hey man, I found a deal, I don't have a buyer for it. I'd say, okay, what does the seller want? The seller wants 90. So then I would say, hey, John, my buyer, right? I text John. I said, John, looks like a good opportunity. What would you pay for it if I can get it done for you? I can pay 110. So now there's a $20,000 spread, right?
Yeah.
And that's my difference. That's what I would make.
Got it.
So you can either wholesale like that. You can either get it as a finder's fee, an invoice. It doesn't really matter what you do, how do you get paid,
That's
but
great.
really it's just connecting people. And it takes me maybe like a couple hours at most to connect people with some text messages. So
and they just follow through with all the work. So that's smart.
They take care of the contract. If you trust the buyer, right? If you trust your buyer, your people, they can take care of the contract. You can even connect them to the seller or the wholesaler and just say, bro, just pay me at close. And
that's smart.
Yeah, I like it just because again, your time is valuable for you. Time is valuable for me. And it takes quite a bit of time to do the whole process. This is quicker.
Yeah. It's tough, but I'll have to put one of them on the side for now. And, MMA is my focus. So
let's do it, man. Well, let's talk about your first MMA fight before we wrap up. Cause I'm curious. I saw a quick video of you, the head and arm choke, right? That's what we call it here. I don't know if that's what you call it there.
Yep.
But, bro, did you just walk through this guy or how did it go?
Yeah. I mean, it was big. Like I said, it had been 3 years since I competed, and my first MMA fight, I only trained, 3 months for it. And the goal was to go in there and, not just use my wrestling, see if I can throw some hands. And I was working with my boxing coach, who was helping me out a bunch. And so got in there, threw a quick 1-1-2, knocked him down. Thought he was going to be out, but he stayed alive. So
stayed alive, bro.
so jumped on him and ground and pounded for a bit, and then it seemed like he wanted a way out. So I just snuck in that arm triangle or head and arm choke, and it was good. So it was you never know how you're gonna feel walking into a cage, right? Like wrestling's wrestling, but I was really happy with how I felt. I felt like I was at home, and I was just excited to get back in there. So it was a great first fight.
That's hilarious. He wanted a way out. He's like, yo, bro, just put me out, dude.
You can tell when those eyes start getting big and they're like looking around. I'm like, all right.
It's like, dude, just tap, man. I don't even have to put you out. What's your do you have a name like in the middle? Anthony the goat? What was it?
Anthony
Champ. All right. That's a good one. Who came? Did you just come up with that, or you called yourself that in junior when you were junior, right? You called yourself the champ?
It's stuck since then. So
shoot. All right, bro. Well, man, this has been fun. I kind of want everyone to get in the mind of like a champion like you. That's like you won in high school, you won in college. I know you're gonna win a belt, bro. That's just how you are. That's just how it is. You got it in your head. What's the difference between you, I would say, like that believes you're going to get it and you work towards it, and other people that want some but they don't do it? Like, what would you say the difference in you and other people are?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that goes into it, but I mean, the first step is just deciding. I feel like a lot of people don't know what they want. So deciding and get super clear on what that is. And then knowing that, something that Coach Kale preaches a lot is, getting clear on that, and then knowing it's your responsibility to go out and get it. And so, seeking out whatever information you need or this next steps you can get the best you can, and going after it full throttle. And then, the third thing is just being grateful for the opportunity you have to do so, and everything that God's blessed you with, and all the good and bad, ultimately leads you to being the best version of yourself. So those are the 3 steps that's preached a lot at Penn State. Decide, it's your responsibility, and then have gratitude along the way. And I think if you start off with those, and you truly believe in yourself and want what you say you want, you'll figure out a way to get it. It's just taking those steps to take action and do so.
I love it. Now, just quick follow-up question. Is there anything you do daily or weekly to express gratitude or stay grateful? Like anything like a routine or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely through my daily prayers. That's a big part. And then I like to just list a couple of things in my mind. And then I just recently came across this new practice that Andrew Huberman has been talking about, where it's just like reviewing an instance in your life that you did something for someone that they were grateful for that. And that seems to like switch something on in your brain.
Yeah.
Where you just like review a scenario where there was a problem, you solved it, or you help someone in some way, and that makes you feel good, and from that mindset and framework you can achieve more and do more for other people. So
No, I actually did an exercise. It's from a book called Cybernetics.
okay.
It might be kind of like this along the same
Oh,
lines.
I actually just got gifted that book. That's funny.
Bro, you need to read it. It's a good one.
Yeah.
So Cybernetics, it talks about I guess something you can do, activity you can do daily. It's called theater of the mind, where you
Okay.
basically go into your mind and you replay activities where you won or things you've done or you've helped people.
Mhm.
And your mind doesn't really know the difference between it happening back then and today. So if
Mhm.
you replay you winning that championship, or you submitting that guy, or you helping out that grandma with the groceries, you literally relive that experience today. Like you feel
Yeah.
like just like you did. So that's a huge thing for gratitude. I do that daily. So every day I'm super grateful as well. And that's the key, man. I love that you brought that up, because gratitude is huge. A
Yeah.
lot of people complain, and it keeps them from growing,
Yeah, I love that practice too, because that's the same way that I visualize, right? Like living from the end has been big for me. Even when I was in high school, just naturally like calling myself the champ, like starting from where you want to be,
Yeah,
and
bro.
then like you said, your mind can't tell the difference, so it starts attracting in what you need to achieve it.
Bro, I freaking love it. I'm excited to follow your journey, bro.
Thank you,
Huge
brother.
MMA fan. I guarantee I'm putting it out there, bro. You're gonna be a champ, dog,
Of
and it's
course,
gonna be
bro.
amazing.
It's already
You're gonna
written.
It's already written, dude. You're the
Mhm.
champ. We're gonna be able to look back at this painless flipping podcast. It's about real estate, and we're gonna be like, hey, back in 2023, I'm the champ now. But that
Exactly.
we spoke it, and it's out there.
Yeah.
So anything you want to leave the Investor Dive Nation with before we dip out? Any golden nuggets? Any tips? Anybody that's might need some help?
I mean, I just appreciate you, bro. I know when I got connected with Jerry, you were a big part of even like the weekly Zooms, and he would bring you in a bunch. And I started following your Facebook page and stuff. So just props to what you got going on. I know you're going to continue to improve, and you're on the same wavelength. So thanks for all the help you provide to the community. And
Dude, thank you.
yeah, and there's nothing that I can tell them that they can't find through you. So just keep it going.
Bro, let's go. Everybody follow my man. Do you want them to follow you or check
Sure.
you out?
Yeah.
Where should they hit you up if they want to follow your journey, brother?
I'm at ant_the champ_Kassar on Instagram, ant_the champ on Twitter, and pretty much just use both those. So
Twitter and Instagram. All right, brother. Cool. Well, everybody go follow him, and excited to see your journey, man. Thanks for coming on, and we will catch you on the next one, bro. We're gonna have to get you back in like a year and be like, hey, how's it feel, champ? Or
sounds good.
whatever
Yeah,
timeline is. All right.
sounds good, brother. Thank
Thanks,
you.
man. All right. Peace out.
Peace.